All right, so hey, it's Shane,
And Sean?
and we're here for our top 10 movies of 2014.
What a year. It's been a
I know.
great year.
It's better than we expected, too.
It was. It was really hard to do this list. And we haven't seen everything, by the way. But here's our top 10. We're just going to give it to you. But first, we have 5 honorable mentions.
Yeah, so we're going to run through all of them, taking turns. But first, we're just going to go through our honorable mentions quick so we can get them out of the way. All right, so I also ranked these, so I'm just going to go lowest to the highest on the honorable mentions. We're just going to name our top 5 honorable mentions for time reasons. So on number 15 on my list, it's Fault in Our Stars. I was really impressed by this movie. I mean, it was like a teen movie, and I hadn't read the book, so I didn't have a lot of anticipation going into it. But you know, it was a really good movie. It was well made. It obviously they had love for the book, because I've heard, you know, people love the book, also love the movie. So
yeah, I really like that one too. It just barely didn't make my honorable mentions. But
yeah, okay. And number 14, I got Nightcrawler. This movie is really intense. Jake Gyllenhaal gives an incredible performance. I swear it's not even Jake Gyllenhaal. You mentioned this earlier. Number 13, Captain America: Winter Soldier. Little known secret, I did not like the first Captain America movie. So going into this, I had less expectations, but it blew me away. Very good Marvel movie. Incredible action sequences, you know, rivals even the Avengers sometimes in its climax. It's a really cool movie, you know, definitely worth catching. Number 12, we got the Lego Movie. I loved this movie. This was the first like really good movie I saw this year, and it was
awesome, man.
It was a breath of fresh air. I love the animation style. The humor's great. I've rewatched this the most. I've already rewatched it 3 times. And number 11, really sad this didn't make my list, Edge of Tomorrow. I love this movie. This movie was the biggest surprise, I think, of 2014 because, I mean, I love Doug Liman. I love Tom Cruise. But they just blew it out of the park here. Like, it's just like Ghost Protocol. Like, I had the same feeling with this movie. It's just, this is really good. And no one's expecting it to be really good. Everyone's just expecting Oblivion again.
15, Nightcrawler. Like you said, Jake Gyllenhaal is not on screen. A creepy guy is on screen who kind of looks like Jake Gyllenhaal. This movie was amazing. Oculus is my number 14. I know this got some hate, and I don't understand that, because to me it was a great suspense horror
film. You are the horror guy.
I am the horror guy. That is true. I love horror movies. But I thought it had a lot of suspense, and this movie was amazing. I don't know what to tell you. I just really enjoyed it. Now, 13, sorry Nolan, just barely didn't make it, Interstellar. It's not his best film, but it's a pretty darn great film. Totally worth seeing in IMAX. It is his 2001: A Space Odyssey.
There have been comparisons made.
Yeah, fair. I know there are, and they're totally fair. Number 12, Everything is Awesome. Yeah.
Same spot.
I know, same spot. Just barely didn't make my list, but I loved this movie. It was hilarious. What a fresh movie to see in February, too.
I know.
Because we just had crap. Wait, this is a great movie? Oh my gosh. And then number 11, my second worst movie theater experience, but that was only because of the idiot in front of me, Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just barely didn't make it. By the way, it is not called Live, Die, Repeat. Okay?
Oh yeah, I get sick of people
I'm getting sick of that. I'm sorry. It's Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's just a marketing thing.
I know. But Tom Cruise was amazing. This action was amazing. And it pains me that didn't make more money. Because it totally deserves it. That's a good action film with a freaking...
Oh yeah, if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Go see all these movies, by the way, if you haven't seen them.
Yes.
But now onto our top 10 list.
All right.
With Shane.
I'll kick us off. All right. For number 10, I have Foxcatcher. I really did really like this movie. Part of the thing is, you know, people get kind of confused by it, like that. What is the motivations of the characters? You know, what's going on? But that's the point. Like, this guy is crazy, you know, and that the performance by Steve Carell is great, you know, but it's only overshadowed by both Channing Tatum and Mark Ruffalo. Both give it their all here, and they're so good. Mark Ruffalo, he's gonna get nominated easily for Best Supporting Actor. What it gets into is this psychological kind of thriller aspects I love, where you don't really know what the characters are thinking, you don't know what's going on, and you know it's a sports movie, and I usually don't like sports movies that much, but this one is an exceptional one in the fact that it's just so cerebral is the best way I can describe it. Well shot as well, you know, the film looks good. So yeah, I really enjoyed Foxcatcher.
My number 10, this was hard putting it here because it probably does deserve higher, but How to Train Your Dragon 2. This movie was amazing. Loved the first one, as most people did. Not only was the animation great and flawless, really, it floats so well, and it has a lot of heart, you know, and it's not a spoiler. The main character meets his mother, and it's actually there's some really touching moments in this movie. It's a, quote, kids movie, family movie, that anyone can enjoy. It's legitimately a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so...
I will see it. I have yet to see it.
I know.
I plan on seeing it before the list, but I just so much to see, you know, so much work to do, you know.
Fair enough.
But I will get to see it. All right, for my number 9, it's Interstellar. I'm a Nolan fan, so you know I knew I was gonna like this movie pretty much going into it, and I did. You know the ideas it brings up, you know, about, you know, talking about humanity, talking about, you know, what is our end goal and how important exploration is, you know, it's really a testament to that. And it's a really like visually interesting movie as well as sound wise. It's kind of those movies where you kind of get sucked in by the world you're watching, and you're seeing, you know, seeing these different worlds. You're seeing Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway explore these uncharted territories, you know. Although it's not one of Nolan's best, it's still a great film. I think Nolan has always made good films, and this is no exception. You know, it is an experience, and I really want to see it again. We saw it in IMAX, and that was the way to see the movie, and it was incredible. Like, just the massive, you know, immersion that you got from that. So yeah, I liked it a lot. So yeah. Interstellar.
Number 9, an Australian horror film called The Babadook. So if you watch the trailers, and other critics have said that, you'll think, oh, it's a monster movie.
It's like
that's
kind of
cool.
Feature.
Right, it's a creature feature. No. It's a psychological horror film showing what happens when this poor woman gets, like, depressed and all this stuff. Like, she has a son who's really hard to handle, like, annoying, just out of control, has a temper like none other, and you just see this woman just at her wit's end and going crazier and crazier. It's really spine tingling, and I know that's so cliched, but it's true. It's so good.
Yeah. My number 8 is Fury. I'm a David Ayer fan as well. Although he has not always done the most stellar movies, I've always enjoyed them.
Sabotage.
But yeah, this movie really blew me away. Everything about it. Like I didn't expect to like this movie as much as I did, but I really did love it. I loved the premise of the tank crew. You know, that's something that hasn't really been explored yet in the World War II movie territory. And it was really, really, really cool because you get to see the raw reality of war, you know, just thrown at you like, you know, it is with Logan Lerman's character in it. And by the way, he gives an excellent performance in this movie, as well as Brad Pitt. He's always good though, so no exception. But yeah, I loved every character in this movie. I loved the action scenes are incredible. The score by Stephen Price almost rivals his Gravity score from last year. Great music here. It really immerses you in the action, and the cinematography is excellent. Everything about it, you know, just David Ayer is a very good director of action, and even with Sabotage, it's true. Like, as bad of a film as it was, like, the action is directed well, and you know, same here. This guy knows how to direct an action film, and and it was just the movie did affect me, a little bit emotionally. Due to the score, and it's just presenting you what war is like, and that's the point, and you come away with kind of this more understanding of what these people went through.
My number 8 is Birdman. Very possibly going to win Best Picture. It's not higher because it's like, well, it's a great movie. It's not going to be one I'm going to see 50 times, but I'll definitely buy it on Blu-ray. It's shot so well. The editing is amazing.
Seamless.
It wins Best Editing.
That's more of a toss-up category. I think it's going to win. I think it's going to win Best Cinematography, though, easily.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Nailed. And Michael Caine, here's the Oscar for Best Actor. It's just, the script is so great, and the casting was perfect. And the funny thing is, they weren't even thinking of Michael Keaton for the role, but if you've seen the movie, you know kind of what I'm talking about, how it fits his real life.
My number 7 happens to be Birdman, so I will just start talking about it.
There you go. You can pick up
where you left off. Yeah, the movie's incredible. It's a great dark comedy. It's incredibly well written, very intelligent. Michael Keaton gives the performance of his life in this film. I almost guarantee he'll win, at least be nominated, but probably win for Best Actor.
Fair enough.
It really is a one-of-a-kind thing. I know the director. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. He's done things like this before, and this is also one of those things. It's kind of like on the sidelines, But this one is really, I think, his best shot at getting the Best Picture award. Yeah. The movie really isn't about much, but it's what it's exploring, the ideas of what it's exploring, and going into Michael Keaton's mind is what makes it so interesting. Mm-hmm. Great performances all around here. That's what I have to say.
My number 7 is Guardians of the Galaxy. This was a tough one to pick because Marvel just hit it out of the park 3 times this year. Mm-hmm. It was really great, so it's kind of like, okay, which one do I personally like more? I'm probably going to watch Guardians again and be like, actually, this should have been higher. But anyway, this movie was so great, so much fun to watch. All the, it's very comedic. There's a lot of comedy in it. All hits. I think from what I remember, it all hits. A year before, I was like, really? A raccoon? Like most people, like a superhero raccoon, a tree? Okay, Marvel, we'll see this. And like most people, I left the theater going, wow, they can do everything. Wow. Mm-hmm. The soundtrack is great. Chris Pratt is amazing. I'm so excited to see him in Jurassic World after that movie and the Lego movie.
Definitely a step up from Parks and Rec,
Yeah, a little bit. And then just the voice acting of Bradley Cooper. And for some reason you didn't see this movie. Go watch it. Go get it on Blu-ray.
My pick is X-Men: Days of Future Past. The X-Men series had gone downhill, and everyone knew it. People were calling for a reboot. And they did, but they did it leaving the door open for a return to the original with First Class. And here we get it, and oh my gosh, this movie, it blew me away in how they did it, because I love seeing Hugh Jackman back as the Wolverine. The way they do the time travel stuff here, it's very cool. It's done really well. It's done comedically. This movie also has comedy that is very good. This movie, I love Michael Fassbender as Magneto, and again, he does an incredible job here. He can't beat Ian McKellen because it's Ian McKellen, and they again do so much with his role, and it's really cool. Love seeing it. And I love seeing the original actors back. Seeing Patrick Stewart back is so cool. I don't know how they're gonna explain it. They're saying that they have an explanation for it. My favorite X-Men movie, one of my favorite Marvel movies. Really good job.
So guess what my number 6 is? X-Men: Days of Future Past.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I agree with everything he said. This movie was just... It's the best X-Men movie. Mm-hmm. It really is. It beat First Class and X2.
Quite a bit, because I like X2 a lot.
Oh, I love X2. That's a 5-star movie for me. Same with this, obviously.
Yeah.
Wolverine is so awesome in this. And yes, by the way, they do reference Wolverine's cameo in X-Men First Class, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
yeah, this movie was just, it was great. If you're a fan of superhero movies or just good action movies, go check this one out. Yeah.
My number 5.
We're getting into the nitty gritty here.
Again,
That's one.
coincidence, but Guardians of the Galaxy. We just have these flipped. So yeah, I didn't think going into Guardians I was gonna love it as much as I did, but wow, this movie was great. Like, this is how to do a superhero origin story. I hand it to James Gunn. He took great care with these characters and this is a franchise that no one cared about. No one really knew about Guardians of the Galaxy. No one really cared about these characters before going into them. So they had to make us care about the characters. It wasn't like Spider-Man where it's Spider-Man, you know? Right. You already love Spider-Man going in. Here, they have to take great care establishing all the characters, making you like them, and making you care about the movie, and it's done so well here.
Yeah.
I loved Chris Pratt in this film. I love Bradley Cooper as Rocket. Great voice performance from him. All around, great performances. I mean, the only thing I could say negatively about it is the villain, but I know they're just setting up Thanos, so that's the point. But, you know, the focus was really on the heroes here, and just that they set them up the way they did. And great effects work, you know. The worlds are kind of cool. Great, fun movie. Like, it's just a fun summer movie. The ideal, like, movie, popcorn, you know, go see this movie.
Right, exactly.
You know, but a really good movie, too. So.
And it's good. Unlike, you know, Transformers or something.
All right.
All right. Number 5. Captain America Winter Soldier. Yeah, I kind of flipped these Marvel movies around a bit, but I just decided, you know what? Captain America is my favorite. It's not just another superhero film. It becomes a spy, like, thriller. It's all about, like, should Cap trust S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff? You know, who can he trust? You know, obviously he can trust Black Widow because she's the main character and they're not going to make her a villain. So, yay!
You're a main character. I can trust you.
He says that. And they put the comedy elements just right because all the Marvel movies, they have to have a bit of comedy. And they did that perfectly where it didn't detract from the suspense of the movie itself. So that was really great. Yeah, there were a couple things that was like, okay, I saw that coming, you know, whatever. But for the most part, it was a really fun comic book movie that it would make my top 10 best comic book movies ever, for sure. Easily. Probably top 5. But yeah, great movie. Check it out.
Number 4, I have Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. This movie definitely lived up to the hype. I was really excited for this movie. All the hype was right. You know, Andy Serkis, he's incredible. They should give him a special achievement Oscar.
Give him some sort of Oscar.
Yeah, like for his performances, because you know it's underrated. You know how much effort he puts into his roles, but he does.
Yeah, Gollum and
King Kong.
King Kong, thank you.
Yeah, you know, like he really puts a lot of effort in, and it shows. You know, I really care about these apes. You know, and make them so human is really a testament to, you know, how much they care about this franchise, how much they want to breathe new life into it. The care they took. Matt Reeves' direction is very solid here. He's doing the next one too, so I'm excited for that. You know, like Jason Clarke, I think he's an underrated actor, and he gave a good performance too. But overall, you know, it's a really, really intense action film. It's a great emotional film. It sets up, you know, where it's gonna go. You know, where's this gonna go next? Are we gonna see Caesar again? You know, this is all the stuff I'm wondering. But you know, this movie was, you know, my favorite summer movie. Such a fun movie to watch. You know, I saw it twice, and I would definitely go see it again. I think it's the best Apes movie, and you know, hopefully that continues with the third one. And this happens to be your number 4 as well.
Yeah, the next 4 pretty darn similar. Sorry.
Not intentionally, too.
Not unintentionally, but these were just so great. So, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. They took this franchise, which I saw all these movies leading up to Dawn this year. That was, apart from the first one, well, even the first one, kind of cheesy, 70s. It was fun. Some of them were good. Like, the first one was great. But it made it like this serious thriller drama, I guess you could say. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
love what they did with the apes. They made it a lot more realistic. You know,
Mhm.
like this could actually happen. They set it up in Rise very well. You know, obviously Rise was like a setup to this movie. So
Yeah. No, exactly. And the cinematography is so great. There's a battle at the end, and the villain, you could debate.
Koba.
Yeah, Koba is just he has a gun, and there's just fire in the back, and he's on a horse. And it's just like, that's an awesome shot.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too, because none of the characters you could really say are straight up they're villains. You can kind of see how they arrived at where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Like Koba, he was treated like crap, so he's not going to be too trusting if humans are saying, "Hey, please help us. We just need water."
Yeah, and there are 3 sides in this movie, which is weird. You know, usually you have 2, but here you have like 3 legitimate points of view. You got Caesar, Koba, and the humans. You know, so
right.
And even within the humans, you got division. So
yeah, it's very intricate. It's not like a good bad movie. There's a lot going on, and it's just a great movie.
My number 3 is Gone Girl. I love David Fincher. I knew that I was so excited for this movie, and it blew me away. This movie is one of the best thrillers to come out in a long time. It's a great adaptation of the book. I haven't read the book, but I can tell because it's written by the author that a lot. She obviously understood what she was doing when she was putting together the screenplay, and great writing. I hope she wins an Oscar for it because this movie is very, very, very well written, and all the actors do excellent work too. I mean, Ben Affleck, he's a guy who's taken some flack recently, no pun intended. For his
role as Batman.
People for some reason people don't like him, and.
Because of movies he did.
But what I've seen of him in the last 5 years completely contradicts that sentiment. I mean, I love Argo, I love The Town, and now I love Gone Girl. All these movies, and he's probably a better director than he is an actor usually. But I really did like his performance here, and but the person who really steals the show, Rosamund Pike. I can't say any more than that because it's gonna spoil it. But she does really well here, and. God, I love her now. But the best aspects are just, God, the cinematography is great, as usual with Fincher films. The world it sets up, the criticism of the media it kind of gives is really interesting, and you don't really know what's going to happen. You're guessing all the time. The movie's very unpredictable, and that's what thrillers need to be. Okay, how is this going to resolve? And I was like 2/3 into the movie, I'm like, how can this end? Like, how can, he get out of this, all that stuff, and the way it ends is just so unpredictable, and I love how it works, and it's very disturbing and unsettling, some of it. This was an excellent thriller, and David Fincher, he's a great director. I can't wait to see more from him. He did Seven, which is one of my favorite movies.
My number 3 is Gone Girl.
Really?
Really? Yeah.
That was surprising.
Oh my gosh, this movie was amazing. Yeah, again, I don't want to ruin the twists.
You can't talk about it without...
It's really hard to talk about this, so I'm going to be very careful. But I agree with what you were saying. It's like, people, yes, Ben Affleck has been in bad roles. Yes, he was in Daredevil.
And Geely, or however you pronounce that movie. Geely.
I actually didn't know this.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen parts of it. I know enough to avoid it.
But guess what? He's good now. But, yeah, see this movie and see Argo. You'll know what I mean. He's great. And Rosamund Pike, like he said, is amazing. But, like, the criticism of the media, it's like, it's kind of made, watching this movie, it's kind of made me go, when I see, like, news stories, or whatever about celebrities, kind of go, like, okay, is that really what's going on? Come on,
Yeah.
And I kind of did that before, but it makes me do it even more now, because I'm just thinking, it's never what you think from what these people are saying, because they're just trying to make a story, make it as exciting and, gossip-filled as possible, or whatever, They care more about the story than the actual truth, usually. Yeah, but this movie, oh my god, this might be one of the best thrillers I've ever seen. I'd have to think about if it's David Fincher's best thriller, but David Fincher is now one of my favorite directors.
Now these were really difficult. I want to mention that these top two, because both are different, but I'll delve into it and like explain. Because my number 2 is Boyhood. I was completely blown away by this movie. I'd heard about it, and well, here's the story of it. I heard about this movie that they were making it. I saw the trailer. It looked interesting. I'm like, hey, Sean, we should go watch this movie. You know, it's an indie one, but you know, Richard Linklater. I love School of Rock. I'm watching the Before trilogy, so I don't have it all done yet. But you know, I'd heard good things about this movie. It had the word of mouth going for it. I was like, we should go see it, and we did, and we both loved it. I particularly loved the fact that how he took 12 years of time, literal time, was able to make a movie out of it that is so human. That's the best way to describe this. This movie is very human. Nowhere do you feel like this is scripted. It doesn't feel like scripted. It feels like Richard Linklater grabbed a camera and filmed these people once a year doing their normal daily life stuff. But it's so interesting at the same time because it speaks to what it's like to grow up. It speaks to, humanity, the way that all these people in his life, are changing and moving forward, through time. And, you can see that, like, Ethan Hawke, his dad, he really cares about his kids, but he can't really be the father that he wants to be. And Patricia Arquette, his mom, excellent performance here, by the way. I hope she wins the Oscar. You can tell she loves her kids. She loves Mason. But also she has to wrestle providing for them, her work, finding a guy who isn't an asshole. Like, all of this stuff she's wrestling with, you can tell, like, the emotional weight it's having on her. And the fact that the movie does take 12 years of actual time where you can see these people grow up is what makes it so compelling. Richard Linklater, he knew what you'd remember, he knew what kids liked, so he'd throw that little reference in there, throw the Nintendo reference, throw in the 20 questions, all that stuff.
It's kind of funny how accurate he was.
Well, yeah, and another reason is I am pretty much Mason's age, more or less.
Both of us are probably slightly older, like 2 years.
Yeah, so, so basically I was seeing myself a little bit in some of it, and it was very easy to, have this movie bring up, memories in your own life, and that's what's so great about this movie. When it skips a year, it doesn't tell you it skipped a year, but you feel it, you can feel the characters change, and that's what's so great about it.
Again, it was so difficult between these two. I'm still sort of debating in my head, but I'm just going to go with it at this point. I'm going to have to say Boyhood's number 2. Both of these top 2 are visceral experiences, and it's just kind of like, which one did you prefer? But I guess I'm going to go with Boyhood at number 2, but it was still, like he was saying, it was nostalgic, pretty much. Like, when they're going to the Harry Potter 6 book release, it's like, I remember when that book was released. I never went to the book release itself, but I remember when those books were coming out and being so excited, like, oh, what's the next one? Like, reading rumors online and stuff on MuggleNet. Or just like these simplest things. I love the music picks because that kind of also helped, show this is what time it's like Soulja Boy plays when it's 2007. I kind of laughed. I was like, I remember when I liked that
Britney
song.
Spears and all this stuff,
It's debatable if it's in my top 10 of all time. I'm honestly debating doing that because, this movie is amazing. Richard Linklater deserves Best Director. I want to see his other movies now. I mean, I love School of Rock. That's one of my favorite comedies ever since I saw it as a kid.
But yeah, like the Before trilogy.
Everything about this movie is so amazing. It is an experience. It's like, it made me look back on my own childhood and like, how did I get here? Kind of look back on the last 12 years of my life.
All right.
Let's get to it.
All right, my number 1 pick is Whiplash. Now, I was very surprised. By the way, we saw this movie like a few hours ago.
Literally a few hours ago.
But don't mistake it for like
out of the theater
out of the theater excitement, because I knew right after the end of this movie that this was something different. This is a movie that is so intense, seamlessly intense. It's not trying to be intense, but it is. you could watch this movie and just see it as a drum instructor teaching him how to play. The way that it's presented is so real. Like I said this with Boyhood too, and it's so true because the authenticity of this film. Like sometimes you forget you're watching a movie with this. I'll get into it. So Miles Teller, young guy, pulls off an incredible performance here. You can tell that he's like a real. I've met people like him. People so dedicated to what their passion is, where they will go far as they have to go to accomplish what they need to accomplish. He's contrasted with J.K. Simmons because holy crap, his performance, like out of the park, blew it out of the state. This is a performance to remember, for any actor, because just how emotional and it gets you in, it invests you in the movie because it's such a authentic. I keep using that word but it's true. He's so authentic here. It feels real and it's so intense. The way he just beats the living crap out of Miles Teller's character, grilling him, trying to get him to do better, ruthless.
Calling him a ball buster would be too nice.
He is just absolutely like the worst teacher you could possibly imagine. He is unforgiving and, just like you feel for Miles Teller's character so much because it's like, you can tell it's really like emotionally affecting him, and that's I'll lend that to his performance too. He's really trying, and he's not getting recognition for it. So I don't know. It's hard to describe this movie, because it is such an experience. I was in the theater. I was literally like shaking, like physically shaking, and that doesn't happen to me in horror movies. That doesn't happen to me. In anything, like even movies that I thought were like, I would say, that's really scary, like The Conjuring. I didn't have that reaction, that extreme. When the movie ended, I couldn't say anything. I felt the need to just watch all the credits, like watch all the way through, because this movie deserves it. When I get that involved into a movie, probably one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. I was so blown away. I'd heard good things, and I still didn't think it could be this good, I thought it probably might make my top 10, but we'll see. Yep, it made my top 10. I would tell everybody to go see this film. It really hits hard, but it's still such a great movie watching experience. If you like these intense movies, these ones that really put you on the edge of your seat, this is the movie. More than any horror movie that came out this year, more than any thriller, this one is the most intense.
Take a wild guess what my number one pick is, people. Well, clearly the best movie of the year was God's Not Dead.
Yeah.
No. Whiplash. I am so happy we went and saw that before we did this video.
Oh yeah.
I had the same experience. I was like, I cannot leave this seat till I see every credit. And then when leaving, when I was outside getting into the car, I was not only shaking, but it was like my brain was not in my own body. My brain was back in the theater, if that makes any sense. That's not a movie. That's an experience.
Yeah.
And those movies...
I mean, we can tell you all day that, how intense it was, but at the end of the day, you're probably like, oh, it's just a drum movie. It's
right. Oh, they're just overreacting.
Music instruction. Like, how intense can music be?
I'm not even a jazz fan. I'm not. I can appreciate it, but I'm not someone that, I want to get all the jazz records. It's like, no, I listen to rock. I listen to classic rock, which, okay, close, but not really. I just want to say, it's like, J.K. Simmons' character, you never know what he's thinking. I mean, unless he's trying to be, looking like he's being nice. Because then no, you're waiting. You're just waiting for him to flip.
Shifts, so quick.
Yeah, it's like, boom, boom, boom. Like, this guy makes Chef Ramsay on Hell's Kitchen look like Santa Claus. Oh my gosh! It's absolutely the best movie of the year. It is, again, more thrilling than any movie that came out this year. And there was no explosions. There was no monsters. There was no CGI. Not really. There was some visual effects, I guess.
Yeah, they probably used a little trick shot because
the
drumming in this movie is so intense.
Sure, for some of those shots. But none of that Michael Bay, blow stuff up, stuff. No. It is simply a movie about a freaking band teacher trying to get this kid to become the best he can be and better than the best he can be.
Mm-hmm.
And that was more exciting than any action movie, any horror movie I've seen in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
This movie is perfect. I don't say that often, like legitimately.
Oh, yeah.
But this movie is perfect.
I searched like for a second. I was like, is there any flaw here? No, there isn't.
Yeah.
This movie is the
And I know I'm getting really loud, but I just want people to know how exciting, how great this movie is. People need to see it. I don't care that it's Academy, it's artsy or whatever. I don't care. Go see this movie.
From start to finish, there's just nothing wrong. It's all
There's
hits.
nothing wrong. There was not a moment also where I felt like, oh, this is so slow. Let's pick it up.
Oh, no.
Not a
the
second.
opposite. Like, holy crap, this is so intense.
Yeah.
Like, barely even being able to take it, sometimes it's like, holy crap, just... I was, like, flinching, like, I was, like, waiting for J.K. Simmons to, like,
I was honestly waiting for him to beat the living crap out of Miles Teller, like, literally.
Yeah.
He basically does, like, emotionally, he for sure does.
Oh, yeah. Like, he's a broken...
Literally... There are scenes where they show him literally trying to play until he bleeds. Like, actually bleeds blood. Many times in the movie. Yeah. Because he's getting that intense and trying to be that good. See this movie. See all these movies, but definitely see this movie.
Yeah, because this is one of the ones that probably isn't going to get that big of, huge...
It's not because it's in the artsy
really,
theaters,
yeah. Well, that concludes it, I believe. The year was very, very good. I definitely can't complain. And we'll do our top 10 anticipated movie list for 2015.
It'll probably be more.
But
we'll debate it. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll do our top anticipated movies. And we'll probably come back and do Oscar predictions as well.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, our bottom.
Well, we need to do the worst, because we did see some bad movies,
too. Yeah. Make no mistake.
Don't worry. Not everything was peaches and cream.
Yeah, no. All right. But that will conclude this video, because we've already been talking long enough. So, yeah. Catch us in the next one.
Yep. All right. See ya.